Hello, 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 everybody. It is Monday night. It's Monday night. It's Monday night. And you know what it means Monday night on Dr. Renita's channel? It means that it's time for Leadership Live. I am so excited today. Oh, I have such a phenomenal guest. But for those of you all who have never ever seen me before, I am Dr. Renita L. Webb. I go by Dr. Renita, and I am an educational leadership strategist who helps aspiring and growing leaders become more authentic in their leadership, to empower the fellowship, and in that way also increase and make a more lasting impact. I am also a coach. I do one-on-one coaching, I do group trainings, and I love to watch leaders become more like who they are so that they can encourage the world to do the same. I am also a veteran educator, having served grades kindergarten through college. I am an author, the author of 3 books. One, um, Stepmom Trials, Tribulations, and Triumphs. Then there's also a second edition to that book, in addition to While You Are Sleeping, the Children of All Ages books, and The Perfect Bedtime Story. I am the founder of The Refining Life, a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide experiences so that you can have your mindset shifted and live a more positive and productive life. And I am also the producer and host of Leadership Live, where we come on live every single Monday night at 9 o'clock. And this year in 2021, I did it originally in 2019 all alone, but in 2021, I have friends. And so I am crazy excited about my friend that's coming on tonight. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on the screen. Here we go. Her name is Arianne Mockabee.
Hey, girl. Hey.
I call her Ari.
It's cool. It's cool. You can do that. Everybody else, I don't know. They're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go with the government name, okay? For right now.
It's Arianne to you.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, Arianne, please tell the people about Arianne, who you are, what you do, and just how the Lord has blessed your life real good.
He's done some amazing things. Okay. Not gonna get up to all of it today, but a little sneak peek. All right. So first of all, thank you for sharing your platform with me. I definitely don't take it lightly. I'm gonna try my best not to embarrass you tonight, but you know. But yeah, so I'm Arianne Mockabee. I have known this beautiful woman for a long time now. I don't know what the number is, but it's been long enough. And been long enough.
We're talking decades.
Yes. So, so we met in school, and then since then, like I've been in the HR field since about 2000, and I want to say 8 now. So, yes, I know. Contrary to popular belief, 9-to-5 jobs are still a thing, and they are still paying my bills. All right, so I work in HR. Outside of that, though, I have written a couple of books, Destined to Fly, The Pursuit of Purpose, also did Guardian Rules, and then just recently released maybe it's a workbook. Renita, is that what you were really saying?
I'm going workbook.
The Ultimate Vision Planning Guide. Super excited about that. So I love all things strategy and finance, and I take more of a wholeness approach to coaching when I'm not working my 9-to-5, and that's cool too. So a little bit about me. So let's jump in, because I love all things strategy.
Yes. So every single speaker, guest that has come on gets to pick their own topic, and Arianne chose vision and strategic planning. Now, that sounds ginormous, because when you think about vision, it's this whole big thing, it's this whole huge thing, and the greats have vision. And then strategic planning, it's one thing to plan, like you can have a planner and plan, but to be strategically planned is an entirely different animal. So Ari, pick which one you want to start with, and let's boogie down with it.
I'm going to start with the vision part first, right?
Okay.
And what I really want to do first is kind of break down a couple of words. I'm going to go through them, right? So as I was thinking about this, I'm like, there's really a lot of terms that we use. So we have vision, we have goals, we have strategy, and all of these different things. And what's really the difference between the three of them, really? So if we think about vision, right? Like, what does vision mean to you? When you think about vision, it's something that you see, right? Whether it's in a dream or whatever, it's kind of an abstract thing. You may not really know the totality of what that thing is. It's just like, oh, I had a vision, it came to me, right? And so that's kind of the first part. But when you think about writing vision statements and mission statements, like, that is your why. So your vision is your why above all else. Why am I doing the thing that I'm doing? Like, why did I choose HR? So before I got in the field, it's like, okay, I got my undergrad in psychology, went into the workforce a little bit, and I'm like, all right, what am I going to do next? And thinking ahead, it's like, okay, well, how do I blend something that I love, which is business, and something that I also love, which is psychology? I'm like, human resources is pretty good, and that's probably going to be around for a while. So I had a vision for my career. And then from that vision, work my way backwards. So how do I get into this field? Do I need to go get another degree? And so I did, right? So I have an MBA in HR management. So when we talk about strategy, that is the roadmap to getting ultimately to fulfilling your vision. But what about the goals part, right? So you have the vision, which is the big picture, and then you have the goals. What is the goal? The goal is the win. I know you might have thought I might have said like the what. It's the win, because it's not a goal if you don't have a timeline set up. Okay, let's be very, very clear. I don't care what you write down on the paper. If you don't have an end date, it's not a goal, because you're not going to accomplish it anytime soon. It's going to look pretty. It's going to make you feel good, but the goal is the win. So when are you going to get that thing done? So the vision is the big picture. The goal is going to, when are you going to complete it? And then the strategy is the how. It's the roadmap on how you're going to get there. So if I plug, if I say, hey, I want to go to Iceland, which I did, right? That's my vision. I want to take a solo trip to Iceland. Cool, because I'm crazy and it's okay. And I did that. Right. The goal. When do I want to do it? I wanted to do it for my birthday. Great. So I had about 8-9 months to plan, right? So I know when I'm going to do that and my strategy. What do I need to do? I need to make sure I have my passport. I need to do my research. I, need to pack and plan and save and all of these things. So that was the strategy. And then he's like, well, what's the what? So if I gave you the why, I gave you the when, I gave you the how, what's the what? Guess what? The what is you. You are the vehicle that's going to make all of this stuff happen. So you can have the greatest vision, you can have goals, you can have a strategy, but guess what? You are the one that has to make it all come to pass. Okay, it's not going to happen. You can write it down, you can draw it out, but honey, if you plug the address in the GPS, it maps out your trip for you. If you don't get in the car, turn it on, and press that gas and follow the roadmap to your destination, guess what? You're not going to get there. So I want you to think about it that way. So just digest those things: the vision, the goal, the strategy, and then of course you. I mean, this is on you. It's on all of us. Like, it's not going to happen just by sitting there and all that stuff. So I want to start with that. Any questions so far? I know that was kind of a lot to unpack really, really quick, but I come with it.
Oh, well, and you do. So let's just start. Let's go back to the notes.
Sure.
So one of the things that I teach about, especially when I'm teaching at the college level, is why. Your why.
Yeah.
And so I teach educators or future educators, and they tell me, I want to be a teacher because I love kids. I want to be a teacher because I want to change the future. And I look at them and I laugh in their face, and it's not nice, but I do it. But I'm like, that is not why you're going to do this. Yeah. That's really cute. That's very old school pageant statement. That's sweet, but that's not what's going to keep you here. That's not really why you're doing this. And if it is, then you're going to quit your first week of teaching, because you're not going to love all the kids. You're going to forget about the future and start at least anybody else's but your own. That stuff is going to become real ragged real quick. But when you say that your vision is your why,
Yeah.
your vision is your why, it's that thing that's just that big. So whenever I talk about your why, it has to be that thing that's so big that's going
Yeah,
to push you and propel you to keep moving forward and keep doing the thing, even when the thing sucks.
for sure.
So when you think about vision
Mm.
being the why is it the why? And how do we even think about it? And how do we start framing our vision that way?
Yeah. So when you think about, it's the why, because it's your purpose. Like, you are called to that specific thing for a reason, right? Like, this is my why. So I'm gonna take us to the word just a little bit real quick, because I mean it just comes out. I can't help it, right? So when I was writing the vision planning guide, right? So the scripture Habakkuk 2:2 and 3, it says, write the vision. And we say this stuff and it sounds cute, but we don't really do it. We don't do half this stuff. I mean, we let's just keep it real, you know? But it says, write the vision. And God gives all of us vision. Why? Because he has a purpose for us, because we're the vehicles, right? So what is my why? Why am I really, yeah, I went into HR because I liked it. It's business and psychology and it's natural to me. But really, was that really it? Was there something bigger and beyond myself? Yeah, I like, coaching people. I like strategy. I like for organizations and people to succeed. Like, that's in me, whether I'm in HR or whether I'm coaching or whatever, right? So I could even look at, okay, if I have a vision for my home life, right? So it's like, hey, if my vision for my home life is to be debt free, why is that? Because my vision, I want freedom. My why is freedom. Like,
Mm,
it's not to sit on a pile of money, it's freedom to do whatever I want to do. That is
hello.
my why. The goal is getting out of debt by a certain amount of time. That's the goal. That's my win. When am I planning to achieve this, right? And then what's
Mhm.
my strategy to get there? So the vision, like you said, it has to be so big that even when it gets hard, even when you're taking 900 detours, even when it looks like you've failed, even when nobody is affirming you and approving and aligning with what you want to do, you're still doing it because that is the burning desire that's on the inside of you. And it's the vision, it's your why. You know what I mean? Like, it is your sole purpose and your driving force for doing that thing. And if you don't have that, the fire will burn out eventually. Like, even if it's like you said, when you have these ups and downs, because you do, and like, no one's gonna, I mean, it's not gonna be a perfect route to get there. I don't care how good your strategy is, the unexpected is always gonna occur because life simply happens. But my God, I'm a visual person, so I use a lot of analogies and things of that nature. So when we're thinking about being in this car, now we've had this vision for ourselves. I know why I'm getting to this destination. I want to be there. There's something for me there. I'm going there, right? I've set that address in there and I've built my strategy. Now I can get in this car. There could be an accident. There could
Mm,
be a 9-mile backup. There could be construction. There could be a road is shut down. But guess what? Because I have that destination set, it's going to reroute me, but it's still
mm.
taking me in the same direction because the destination was set. So if you don't have the destination set, where you going?
What do you do? Okay, so let's take a pause. Pause for the pause.
Yeah.
One, for you to talk about, oh my goodness, you when you went to that why and talk about, I think so many people
Yeah.
get it twisted and they say things like, well, I want to be debt free. My vision is being debt free. No, your vision is to be free. So to
Right.
have that difference, that shift in mindset, it's not that you want to be debt free because that you do, but you don't. Like, that's not the end game. The
Right.
end game is to be free and have the freedom to do whatever it is that you feel like doing in that moment.
Right.
I was free to do that. How do I
Right.
get free? I become debt free. Oh, hallelujah.
Listen.
So I mean, so that changing the words that we use to define the things that we really want and to
Yeah.
seek within ourselves what it is that we really desire, that is the huge part. Some people can't get to the vision because they refuse to go past the surface of themselves.
Yeah.
All they see is debt free. They don't see that it's more than that.
Yeah. It's so much bigger, and it doesn't matter what it is. Like, it could be, it's not, you can look at it from a health standpoint, right? It's like, no, it's not that I just want to be healthy. It's like, dude, I'm breaking stuff off my bloodline. Like, look at my family history, right? Like, no, my why is
You can
I'm
say you
breaking
breaking
generational
generational
curses.
curses.
Man, yes, absolutely. Like, that's my why. I'm breaking generational curses, but how I'm doing that, the strategy is the exercising, is the dieting, is all of that stuff, right?
It is
So,
losing the weight. Losing the
right,
weight is a part of the breaking, but the real deal
right.
is not losing the weight. It's
No,
my vision is not to lose weight.
no,
My vision is to break this curse.
yes,
To get there, I'm
absolutely,
gonna lose some weight.
absolutely.
So, oh my God. So I think that is one of the hugest piece to this is realizing that our visions are way bigger than the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
And
the
you
thing
have
and
to,
then there's the vision.
yeah, I mean, and you gotta, because I feel like when you just focus on the goal, which again, these
Mm-hmm.
are two totally separate things. You know what I'm saying? When you just focus on the goal, you're really cutting yourself short, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, I just want to fit into that dress, or I just want to buy whatever, or I want to have this stat. That's not big enough, because a lot of times the things that we do is inspired by what we're hoping we're going to get from other people.
Right.
How are these people? We're doing it for responses. We're not doing it.
I'm about to slap, get out of my chair right now.
We're doing it for responses. And we might not admit that to ourselves.
Mm.
Because you know what? When this stops, we stop. So what does that tell you?
Woo.
Are you doing it because
What was your why?
what was your why? And you have to be honest with yourself about that. Like, if you can't be honest with yourself, then my God, I don't know what to tell you, but you have to say, what is really the reward that I'm seeking by doing this thing? What is it?
Oh.
What's in it for me? Because let's be real, it's something in it for all of us. We're not just out here doing something. Like, what's in it for me? Huh? And I need you to be honest about that. I need you to be honest about that.
But that's one of the biggest things that we have to do with ourselves, period, is being honest with us. We lie to ourselves a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We lie to ourselves a lot. I mean, even down to the fact that, one thing I talk about in a lot of trainings is that there's so many people I work with or don't work with because they don't ever see themselves as a leader. We lie to ourselves a lot. And so we're not being honest for various reasons. Either we don't realize it, in this particular case, we don't realize our role really merits that, or we don't want the responsibility of it.
Yeah.
So learning to tell ourselves the truth is a lesson all in itself, because then we can really, only then can we really get to the root of our why.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it has to start there, though, right? Like, you have, and it's not a right or wrong answer. Let's be clear. It's not a right or wrong answer. You just need to own it, whatever it is. Maybe you are doing it for the response of the people. Okay, do you, boo? I mean, hey, be real with it. I'm doing it because I'm trying to get this man. Hey, I mean, do you? I mean, hope it works out. My God, I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real about it. No judgment zone. I mean, my God, just own whatever it is, because at the end of the day, that's going to be the thing that drives you. You know what I
Right.
mean? So if it's not authentic, once the little rewards or the things, once it stops, you're gonna stop. You're going to stop. So it has to be big enough. You have to own it. Be honest with yourself. And then, again, it's cute to have a vision, but if you don't have the other components in there, it's gonna stay a vision for a very long time.
Oh, and it's gonna be just that. You're just gonna keep looking at it.
Yeah. I mean,
It's never gonna come to be.
how many vision boards do people have out here? They ain't check nothing off of it.
Not one thing.
It's cute. It was a nice little craft project, but you didn't do the rest of the work.
He
That
said
was
it was arts and crafts.
yeah, that was cute. I mean, hey, write the vision. That was step one. My
Mm-hmm.
God, make it
There, but
plain. Okay, that was the goal setting part of it. Make it plain. All right, how do I achieve this thing? Let's make it real, right?
right.
Clear. It ain't enough to be like, I want to be on, Shark Tank. Cool. What you got to offer?
What,
You
what's
created a
coming in the
product?
bank?
You created a product yet? Have you done research on how to get an audition?
Mm, mm.
I mean, what are we doing? Again, is it just arts and crafts? Or are you really trying to do this thing?
Well, Eric, I'm gonna say this. Well, you have taken several things beyond the arts and the crafts.
Backwards. So when I'm looking at the vision guide, that's why I did it the way that I did it. I started with those big, hairy, audacious goals because you have got to think that big, and it will scare you at first. Like, oh my God, how in the world am I going to do this? But the next step is working your way backwards. So you break it down into so many small steps that it almost, oh no, I can actually do this thing. But you got to break it down. But you have to start with the end in mind. And then work your way backwards. But we just start with the big thing. And I think sometimes we get so overwhelmed by it that we just stop right there. And it's like, no, you got to do the rest of the work. So.
Oh, absolutely. So you have managed to do several things in several different arenas. So one, you've done things like you've gotten your degrees and you have an MBA and now you work in HR, which is a huge, ginormous thing all by itself. Then on the other hand, you have published 2 books and these are not your frou-frou feel-good books. These are, you're going to do the work mentally books, like whether you wanted to or not. The moment you picked it up and started reading, you messed yourself up. You get ready to do some work in your own mind, if nothing else. But you've made these things happen. So you have started mastering this process of the why, when, how, and you, or why, when, how, and what.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through, maybe pick one of them and talk us through how you went through those steps and made those things happen?
Yeah. So when I look back at, let's just say the very first book that I published, right? Like that was so far beyond me that I was like, okay, I'm doing this because I believe God told me to. Like I've never written a book before. I don't think I got halfway good grades in English. So my God, ain't no way I'm qualified to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have an audience. Listen to me. I got put in remedial English for my 10th grade year. I had to get my mom to write me a letter out. Come on now. Like, you want me to write a book? All right, then. This ain't me talking, but I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right. But the why, whether I felt qualified or not, I'm like, this is bigger than myself. So, I mean, I still had a choice. I can obey, as fearful as I was, as ignorant as I was about the product. I mean, the process and all that stuff. But I feel like as you take steps, it all starts to align, right? Like, again, on that roadmap, you start getting closer, you start hitting milestones, you start running into people and resources to help you get you closer to your destination. So it's like, okay, starting with this book, I'm like, all right, you told me to do this, what resources do I need? So I start doing the work. I'm like starting to look up, what does this even look like? Like, do I need software? Do I do self-publishing? What does that look like? I don't know what self-publisher to use. So, you're going to have to lead me in all those directions. I need an editor. I need a book cover designer. So, I mean, I did the research and just started trying to figure this thing out. And then from a writing standpoint, trying to think. I don't know if I gave myself a deadline or not. Knowing me, I probably did. I set a writing schedule. And yes, I was working a full-time job and writing a book at the same time. Crazy. But I gave myself a writing schedule, and I think I was trying to do, maybe I committed to an hour a day, like write for an hour. Again, I am such a big fan of breaking things down because it's so much more manageable when you break it down into smaller bites. So I'm like, I can commit to writing an hour a day. So I did that. I don't know how long it took me, maybe 2.5 months, perhaps 3 months to get it written. And then, got the editing done, picked up. I mean, I feel like I'm like, okay, God, if this is a publisher, I'm going to use this publisher. Again, I really don't know what I'm doing, but I trust you. And, just went through the steps again, not knowing what in the world I was doing, just believing that I had been called to this and that God was providing all the resources to do it. And then it was done. So I was like, whoo, okay, I got that one, completed. But it was really just trusting the process and figuring it out, because a lot of what you're doing, you're going to have to figure it out. Like, if the vision is not big enough for you to be like scared of it and for you to have to do the work and to walk into the unknown, like, I don't know that it's really a vision other than a to-do list. Like, is it really? Like, that's a task list. You know what I'm saying? Like, your vision should scare you. I'm not trying to make y'all feel bad, but my God.
No, that's so good, because so many people are afraid to dream those big dreams because of things that you listed. So things that you talked about was, one, being unqualified, feeling like you weren't qualified to do it in the first place. So why would I latch hold to something that I feel like I'm unqualified or underqualified to do? Then you talk about how it's all these things. It's all these things. I got to do all those things. But if you just take it in the bite-sized morsels, which makes me think a little mini Snickers, because they're okay to eat, because you didn't have a whole Snickers, but somehow, some way, if you eat 4 of those or 5 of those, you really ate a whole Snickers just in little bite-sized chunks. So you ate the whole thing. Congratulations, but maybe not. Because maybe you shouldn't have done that. But then you talked about walking blind.
Oh, yeah.
You had no clue really what to do, where to go, how you were going to get there, except for the fact that you listened and were obedient.
Yeah.
As the things came, you did the thing.
Yeah. Like, it's literally unfolding as I'm taking a step.
That is crazy.
That's it. And when you think about all these entrepreneurs who are out there, they will, the ones who are keeping it real, they will tell you the exact same thing. They didn't know what they were doing. All they knew was they had a vision, they believed in that vision, they committed to that vision, and they figured it out until it happened. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you don't believe in it enough, you're not going to do the work, right? Because again, as soon as it gets hard, or again, those little things start coming up, I'm not qualified, I don't know. Let me tell you a little secret. Nobody ever is.
Secret letter at the box. Nobody's qualified.
Nobody ever is. Okay. So you're not alone. So it's not like you're the only one that has ventured out into this thing and didn't have all the answers. Nobody ever does.
Wow.
And I hope
that's the thing. All by itself. That will preach alone. Doesn't need anything else to help it out.
It's true. Nobody ever does. And the ones who say they had it all figured, they're lying. They're lying. So, it is what it is. So I really, in all seriousness, hope that freed somebody, because you're never going to have it all together. You're never going to have all of the answers, because even when you feel like you do, you're going to take a step and you're going to be like, oh crap, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You're not supposed to. Like, it's impossible for one human being to have all the answers, because that would make you God, and we know that's a lie.
The lie detector test determined that's a lie.
So just take that off the table. Just accept the fact that I'm not going to have all the answers, but I know that as I walk in it, the answers are going to appear to me as I walk. Let's be very clear. But you got to walk. As I walk, right? Yeah.
Wow. That's so good. Of course, me being in the same mind like you are, I'm like, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
I come up with these crazy visual analogies. So I'm when we're talking right now, I am picturing, okay, I used to love Super Mario. All right.
Let's go with it.
In each of the little games that you play, you have a starting point, you have an end point. And guess what? There are certain things that Mario needs along the way to get to the end point. But guess what? If you don't move little Mario, you're not going to get the little star that's going to make you go fast. You're not going to get the little Yoshi to ride on. You're not going to get the mushroom to make you get real, real big, to fight off them little devils and throwing hammers and all that stuff. You got to walk to get to the provision on the way to get to the little flag at the end. And you had a little, couple little roadblockers along the way, the little turtles and things of that nature, but you was all right. You was all right.
You jumped on the turtle. You kept it going. They fell off.
The turtles. You was all right. Yoshi ate them and whatever. It's cool. But the provision came as you moved Mario through the course. Right? So and it sounds so silly. I know. I don't know how I come up with this stuff.
But no, that's so good because it's so true.
About it. Like, think about the journey that you're on. The provision comes as you move. It doesn't just all come to you and you pack the car up and go. No, even if you do that and you're taking a road trip, at some point you got to stop at a gas station. But guess what? The gas station ain't coming to you. But there's one along the way to refill your car.
Mm-hmm. And stop. When you need to stop. Don't be foolish and say I can ride 20 more miles.
Rest up at a hotel. Get you some food, some provision along the way. You all right?
But it's there because you had the vision and you started moving towards the goals to make that vision come to pass.
Right. We want it all at the start. No. That's not going to happen. And you can be stubborn all you want. You're going to be sitting there. It's fine. I mean, you can stay there. Don't get mad when everybody else doing laps around your tail and you still at the starting line because you won't go. Because you want everything to be right. It's not going to happen. So it's some of these things that we just have to accept as part of the process. Not knowing everything, right?
Yes.
Admitting that we're going to need help, and let's humble ourselves. Not going to be able to do it by yourself, because that's another thing. We think we got to be Superman and Superwoman and want to do the whole thing by. No, it's not for you to do all by yourself.
Well, hold on. That's not even all of it. It's not even that it's already not for you to do by yourself. The issue is for some people is that they want all the glory. So they don't want to share the work because they don't want to give any credit to anybody else because they want all the glory.
You said it, not me.
I meant it too. I said what I said.
She said it.
I meant it.
But it was still true. But it's true. I mean, and again, that's still a humility. It's a pride issue, right? So that type of stuff will keep you stuck, man. And so that's why I'm like, a part of all of this, you have to accept the reality of this process. You do. And get off social media and stop looking at all these highlight reels. Okay. No, it's cute, but it's not real life. Okay.
Right.
And actually do the work. And it seems like it's a lot, but if you do the work up front, it makes it so much, and I don't want to say easier, but it does make it a little bit easier when you do the work up front and just take the time. Okay, what is my why? How am I going to get this done? Who am I going to need to help me with this? What resources do I, what, if you don't know something, go read a book. Great. Go to YouTube. Like, there's information is so easy to access. Like, there's no excuse for, I don't know what to do. If you don't get your tail on Google,
well,
okay,
Google, YouTube, but also ask other people who did it.
Like, let's stop pretending like I don't know is not an excuse. It's not acceptable. I'm sorry.
Mm-mm.
It is not an acceptable excuse because there's just way too much information. No, I don't know. Great. Look it up. Ask somebody. Put an effort out there. My God. I mean, it's not an excuse. And let me say this for all the churchy people. You don't need to be praying about the same thing for 30 years. You know. You ain't waiting on nobody. God, you are not waiting on God. So let's stop that lie. I need confirmation. No, you don't. I heard one time somebody said, you have made confirmation an idol. I said, ooh. Ooh. I said, uh-oh.
Oh, that is so good. What are you seeking? I've been seeking my whole life for confirmation, so you did nothing.
Yeah, no, you made that.
You made confirmation an idol.
Absolutely, you did.
Because you didn't have faith. You stopped trusting. You stopped having faith because you're so busy seeking the idol of confirmation.
Yes,
oh, my.
We gotta stop this over spiritualizing, stuff that God clearly told us to do. It's like, I don't know if he told me. Great. You know what? You know how good God is? If you aren't sure and you get out there and it's the wrong thing, he will redirect your path. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like we make stuff hard. That's not really that hard. It don't have to be that hard.
Stuff hard.
Yeah.
It's not really that hard.
It's not.
Wow.
Sometimes it's yes.
Period.
That was it. Yeah. What's my next step? Yes.
It's a yes for me. It is a yes for me.
Yeah. We make it so, I got to pray. I don't know if it was the Lord. I got to child by. Okay. You said that 10 years ago.
You still confused? There's some other work you need to do in that case.
Like, we just got to get, you know what I'm saying? Like, I play around a lot, but I'm serious though. Like, we can't keep doing this stuff. And let's just stay with it. It's not that you need confirmation. You're scared. And you know what else? When you talk about being scared doesn't come from God. Could it be that the enemy is using scare tactics to keep you from your destiny?
God has not given us the spirit of fear.
That didn't come from God.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And that's where a lot of people, and you hear it's becoming taboo and cliche for people to say things like do it scared. But I mean, do it scared. They're not saying it for no reason. Just do it scared. Yes. But some of that is, like you said earlier, you've got to own your stuff.
You do. And I mean, it isn't doing it afraid, because I don't care how prepared you feel. There's still going to be that little bit of anxiety there. You're a human being. My God, you're not a robot. You have feelings. I hope so. There's always going to be that little bit of anxiety there. That's natural. I mean, it doesn't mean it's wrong because you're in your feelings about it. It doesn't mean it's wrong. You can be scared and still have peace.
Ooh,
I know about that. I know.
And still having peace. How do you do that? Because that sounds, I mean, all of this, even though we've launched into a lot of different things, all of this is leadership. I mean, it's life leadership. It's how you're choosing to lead yourself and the choices that you make. Even in leading is following a lot of times. I'm leading myself to follow what I know to be best. I follow my truth. I follow my source, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And you may be leading yourself in that way, but that sounds so oxymoronic.
It does.
Having peace and fear.
Doesn't that sound crazy?
That sounds insane.
It does. But when you go back to this why, and you know who gave it to you, right? And again, there might be that little ounce of, God, I don't really know this shoe. I sure as heck hope it is, but I'm going to go out here and do it. Like, you committed to this thing. So I feel like you have to commit. And that is where you find the peace, in the commitment. I know it sounds crazy. You find peace in the commitment, right? So it's like, I'm committed to this thing and I don't know it all. I don't really know what's on the other side. I hope what's on the other side is there, but I find peace in knowing that if I really feel convicted about this thing, it's going to work out one way or another. And I find peace in that knowing that, hey, God's directing my path. If I take a wrong turn, he'll reroute me. If I get lost, he'll send some help. If I ask, humble myself and ask, he'll send some help. But and again, it's finding peace in the commitment that I am sold out for this thing, and afraid, unsure, again, still feeling unqualified, but there is this sense of inner peace that God got me regardless. And that's where my hope is anchored, you know? Sounds crazy. I know it does, but it's very true. That's where my hope is anchored. So yes, I find peace in the midst of fear. For sure.
Finding peace. Oh, that's so good. But
yeah,
letting that peace come from the commitment to the vision that was handed to you. For sure. I am all right. This is feeling horrible. Things are not going right. I'm going to keep trudging forward because I find peace that this vision will come to pass because it was given to me, and it won't come back void. This is a promise. It's a vision. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Even through all of this.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a trust thing too, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's also a lot of us have trust issues. We won't admit that, but we do.
How can you trust the process when you don't trust anything else?
I know. So I know we won't admit that, but a lot of our issues, there are trust issues. I don't really trust that what I heard. I don't really trust that this is God. I don't really trust that it's going to work. I don't really, so we got trust issues too, that I don't trust that this person is gonna help me or is in it for me or whatever the thing is. And so it's a lot of different factors, but again, it's all a part of the process, and it all works together. Like, it's not just one standalone piece and then another standalone piece. Like, they're all components of this huge process that we call life and destiny and all of these things. So, and no, you don't just get here overnight. I mean, I've had my own journey of, all of this. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still learning to trust and all that stuff. But the only way that you learn how to do it is by doing it.
You learn how to do it doing it. You got to do.
I know. Like, it sounds so simple, but the only way you learn how to do it is by doing it. So you had to get on the bike to learn how to ride it. Right?
Oh, such profound simplicity.
I mean, you had to get on it to learn, right? You had to get behind the wheel to learn how to drive. Like, you just didn't come out racing on NASCAR. Like, you started somewhere. I mean, think about all the things that you've learned how to do in life and where you were the first time you started. So why is it any different now?
We think because we grow up that things become easy to do or easy to figure out. No, it's a new big thing.
Yeah. And I think we have this, unfortunately, life, it twists your head a little bit, right? Think about your kids, Renita. Look how fearless they are. when they do things. You know, think about a kid learning how to walk. They fall down 9,000 times, but you know what? They still get back up because they're like, I'm going to walk like mommy and daddy one day, or big sister or big brother. I'm going to walk. I don't care how many times I've fallen down on this cushy little butt that I have. I'm going to get back up and keep getting back up until I master walking.
And it's because they have a vision of having freedom of movement.
Right.
They have a vision of being mobile. They have a vision of being able to reach these different things and do these great things. It's not just about walking. It's
Right.
about what walking can do for them.
Right. What's in it for me? Again, what's in it
And
for
it's
me?
a huge, audacious goal.
It
They
is.
they they have this huge vision that I'm going to be able to function like all of these other entities around me, but I know to do that I gotta walk.
Yeah.
Ah,
And as parents, we're like, we cheer you on. Yay, good job, good job. And I think as adults, we still want people to say, yay, 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 good job. You did, bruh. That's cool. God's cheering you on. You may not have a whole crowd of people, you know, like you did, but at this point, you got to mature past the applause. We're not babies anymore.
did you just say mature past the applause?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
right. You gotta mature past the applause. At some point,
At some point.
yeah, at some point, you're doing this because it's the right thing to do, not because I'm gonna get a standing ovation afterwards.
Right.
It's because this is my responsibility,
Mm.
right?
This has to happen, whether or not anybody ever sees it, because they still may not see that one thing that you did, and that you may never get clapped for it. But somehow that one thing is going to have an impact and help whatever the bigger vision is come to pass,
Right,
because that needs to come to pass, no matter what it looked like in the trenches of it.
right. And if you're really doing it for the applause, then you made people your idol now. We have this idolatry problem. You know, I talk about it a lot. Like we really do. We have a lot of things going on, but
I love, like, heart, love your posts, because they are so deal with it.
I mean, it's fine. Just trying to
If
help.
you all do not follow Arianne Mockabee on Facebook and Instagram, you are missing
Crazy.
some great things in life, because she's going to make you think, and it will pop up and you can't help but see it. And you can't unsee it once you've seen it, and you've got to answer that question in your mind. You don't have to leave her any piece of comment,
Oh
but
no.
you have to answer that question for yourself, even if you don't want to deal with it in that moment.
Mm.
She's going to ask that question, and you're going to,
Yeah, I mean, just food for thought. No big deal.
but it's no big deal, but it's the biggest deal, because shifting your mindset, changing your mind, being
Yeah,
real and honest about what you're thinking, owning your stuff
yeah,
will
just
change
own
the world.
it. Just own it. You know what I mean? It's like we just don't get anywhere hiding behind this stuff and putting lipstick on pigs every day. Like, okay, it's still a pig with makeup on. All right. Like, come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, just own it. Like, you know what? I got an idolatry problem. But guess what? As soon as you own it, you can fix it. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you face that thing, you can fix it. But you just want to keep sweeping it under the rug, acting like it's all right. Well, it's still gonna be there.
But that's not what leaders do. Leaders don't leave it under the rug. Leaders, they deal with it.
You got to uncover that stuff, right? You have to, and you have to have people in your life that you trust to give you that tough love, and knowing that it's coming from a good place and it's not judgment. And if that's not the right person, then find somebody else. But you need somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's going to be able to say, you might want to check on that, right? That knows you well enough. And we don't like to hear that, like, well, who are you to tell me? Because you're not perfect. I know that, but this is the role that you chose for me to be in your life. I ask. you chose me. Like, you chose me to play this role in your life. And now you want to be like, who are you to tell me? Nah, go find somebody else then. I ain't signed up for that.
Or who am I? I'm the person you chose.
Right.
But if you don't want me anymore, that's all right. I'm not your person. We'll keep going.
Cool. But I'm gonna play the role that you asked me to play, because I felt, you trusted me or whatever else. And if you don't want to hear that, then don't ask me to do it, because I'm gonna tell you. But I also will hope that there's also somebody in my life, if it's that same person, that you're gonna do the same thing for me, because we're all growing. We all have blind spots. Like, let's be clear.
Wow.
Like, are you
Come
even
on with the vehicle analogies tonight?
We all have blind spots. Like, who are you? That's pride. Again, we have pride issues. We have idolatry issues. We have trust issues. I'm just going to call them all out. I don't care.
Go ahead.
Okay? We have them. And you just got to deal with them. But yeah, we have blind spots. And so somebody else is going to pick up on something that you're not. I'm like, yo, thanks for looking out, right?
Yes.
You like having the mirrors on the side of your car for blind spots to keep you from wrecking and running into somebody else because you can't see.
Right. But if you don't have the mirror, you're never going to see, and you're going to keep running in and being reckless, or even killing yourself, or killing your dreams, or killing the vision because you refuse to get the help to see.
Right. So we just gotta, oh my God, just grow up, okay? I want us to grow up in 2021.
And that's the end of that caveat. Grow up.
Yeah, I want us to mature in 2021. I want us to grow up. I want us to get real with ourselves, and I want us to be great. Okay.
So here we are. We are rolling right on to the end of this time.
Yeah.
But mature.
I don't even know if this was helping anybody. I'm just on here rambling with you.
It did. It helped me if it didn't help anybody else. But I'm sure there are plenty. Yolanda Mockabee has a numerous comments sound. But it sounds so simple, but it's so huge. Mature, grow up, be great next.
No, I know, and I say that, and it's not in a condescending way. You know me very well. Some people may not, and I say it like I joke a lot and all that. But again, we're gonna have to mature to get to the next level. Like, you've got to grow up in some of these areas, and again, it comes with facing the issues within us. We don't like to address things, whether it's painful or we're afraid of what other people are going to think or whatever it is. And it's just like, it's keeping you stuck. So I don't say it because I'm, being mean or anything like that. I'm saying it because I know what's holding you back. Right. I know it's holding you back, and I know it's held me back before. And so it's like, no, I know. And I know what still holds me back. Like, let's be real. I still wrestle with stuff too. It's not like I have got it all figured out. And sometimes you win the battle today and they ain't win it tomorrow. They ain't win it the next day. But, you just keep fighting and keep pressing through until you get what you really want. Like, if you're, again, that commitment thing, like if you're not committed to the things, and a lot of things we're not, we have commitment issues too. Throw that one on there. Right. We got commitment issues. We're not patient. We want stuff to happen overnight. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not going to happen. So it's not going to happen overnight. And a lot of time we pulling up the roots before they got in the ground good and relocating it to somewhere else. And we just keep picking up and wondering why it never grows, because it's not grounded. You didn't give it time to take root. You didn't put in the work to nurture it. You didn't do all the work. And we want it to go from seedling to 20-foot oak tree overnight.
Yeah, like those trees we got at Elon when we graduated. Yeah. I wonder how many of those are growing.
Right. Like, you need a root system. And if you really believe that thing is big, you better have a good root system, because to have something grow up really big with a shallow root system, as soon as a storm comes, guess what? Whole thing gonna topple over.
Right.
It's gonna be on the
Right.
ground. And we see that get rich quick and all that. Okay, it don't last long. How many people if after they win the lottery keep that money? I'll wait.
Mm. Because they didn't really have a vision or a strategic plan in place once they got their vision, they thought was to win the lottery.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for bringing that right on back.
That wasn't it.
Right on back. But I mean, okay, so we can't stay on here forever.
I
We
know.
can do this all night. But that brought it back full circle.
Yeah.
People want that thing. They want it right now because they feel like that is the end game. They feel like that is the vision. The vision is to win the lottery and then everything else is going to fall in place. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. What did you didn't have a vision before then you're going to squander all of that, floating it around all these other places because it didn't have a place to go.
Right.
Vision gives all of these things, all of these actions, all of these decisions a place to go.
Exactly. Like it was never about the money. It was never about the money. It could have been access. You wanted access to things that you didn't have access to before, right? I don't know why. You wanted to
What's your
feel
vision?
powerful.
My
right?
vision is power. My vision is access. My vision is freedom.
Exactly. That's your why.
That's the big thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Woo! Most definitely.
My. Okay. Well, we are at 57 minutes and 39 seconds and counting.
I just want to say, honestly, thank you for having me on. I hope it was helpful. I know we laughed and joked a lot, but you know that's my personality. Anyway, gotta keep it a little light and cut you a little bit too in the process. But
there's been slicing and dicing all night, but I mean, you had like little packs of Neosporin to put over the wounds.
I love y'all. I know. I love you. I cut you and then kiss you too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you but I really want people to think about that why and then to really write down the goals and, do the strategy. You're the vehicle, like you got to do this. So just think about this. I mean, I really want people to, yes, it was fun and lighthearted and all that stuff, but what are you going to do now? Right? I'm all about action. So it was fun. It was great. I appreciate you having me on, but I really want people to take some time. And if they took notes, to really simmer over those notes and to do this work for themselves.
Absolutely. Arianne, there are some people who are going to want to immediately after we get off this find you. How do I find Ari? How do I start to get text regularly about her posts?
All over these here internets. I'm kidding. No, so Facebook, well, I'm on Facebook. They blocked my business page, but you can still find me on Facebook, Arianne Mockabee. You can follow me over on Instagram. I have much more activity over there on a regular basis at Arianne Mockabee. And then my website, which is currently under construction, but still available to you right now, is ariannemockabee.com. And you can just go ahead and sign up for my email list and stay connected with me there. Some new and exciting things will be coming in the near future. So this has been fun and I hope it's been helpful as always. And
oh, honey, it's been helpful.
And I'm glad we did this together. I miss you dearly.
At this point, I feel like I can't even type because I'm so hyped. Everything's felt right. Well, let's go with it. But Ari, I love you. I appreciate you so much and your realness, your fearlessness, and your willingness just to tell it like it is. But also, I mean, you took us on a great ride, but gosh, Lee gracious, you dropped some wisdom all along the way. So I hope that people who have watched tonight have been blessed by it. People who watch the replay will be blessed by it. But know that you are making a difference, and you lead by example.
I appreciate it. I try. I really do.
So you do a great job of it. So everybody, Arianne Mockabee, follow
Thank
her on
you.
all of the social medias, the Facebook. If you want to really feel the hard hitters, go ahead and be big and go follow her on Instagram, because you'll get, that she said, you'll get even more information there. That's
Yeah.
her big site. ArianneMockabee.com is under construction, but there's some great things going down. It's looking, the little teaser when you go to ArianneMockabee.com, you get to see a beautiful picture and the logo.
It's coming. I'm working hard. I really am. So I'm super excited about where it's going. Yeah.
I freaked the preview.
It's
So
gonna be good.
just know that she's doing great things, and don't think that it stops here. So I encourage you to connect with her. Also, next Monday night, we'll be back here again for Leadership Live. I am just thanking God that He has allowed me to keep doing this and avail new people every week. And we'll be talking about the Prep Life Plan and doing great things next week with Jasmine Jones, right back here at 9:00 on Monday night. Arianne, thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
You all will see more of us together some way, somehow. Just be ready for that.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yes, absolutely. But I love you. I love everyone who's watching. If you're watching on the replay, I hope you throw up that hashtag replay. If you caught it in the middle, go back and catch it from the top. It will be on Facebook and YouTube. Love you all. Have a great evening. Good night.
Bye.